Hello there everyone and welcome back to another episode of Dragon Mania Legends. So today we're going to be going through some of the Facebook posts about the new Divine Element and some new info that we've learnt from them. But before we go into that, I just want to point out that currently the Comet Dragon is only available for another 14 hours and 39 minutes. However, the end of the month isn't for another couple of days. And so, a couple of people have mentioned this to me as a possibility. Perhaps we're getting a special breeding over the course of like a day and a half for anyone that has ever had, or for anyone that was around during the Yin Yang's really limited time period, and we haven't had a special limited time Dragon of the Month, like a really short one, in a long time. And you know, someone pointed this out, and I did also find it quite peculiar, and nothing's been mentioned. We're getting all this new update stuff. So, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Something could potentially be happening. They may just start the other Dragon of the Month early. But either way, just be very, very vigilant of what happens tomorrow morning. 14 hours from now, around about, we may see a special Dragon of the Month, we may not. So for now, like I said, just make sure you are keeping on your tipsy toesies, and as soon as I find out, of course, I'll let you guys know what is going on and any other info that I find out. But anyway, for now, in the milestone community hatching event, whatever you want to call it, we are about to hit 10 million. And at 10 million, we're going to unlock info about another free Divine Dragon. So obviously, we're very close. I think it's guaranteed that we're going to unlock this. And so for the further that we go in the event, the DML devs and the community manager did promise that they'd give us some more information the further on we went. And they've been doing this since yesterday. So just in case any of you guys haven't read through this yet, I'm going to go through this first post and another post now. So do you want to know more about the Divine Element? Read about it here. Greetings, Dragon Lord. Simply wow, you've hatched 7 million. Well, we've done 10 now. But congrats on reaching the 3rd milestone. You hatched those dragons like you mean it. The calendar event and the unlocked Hypnos Dragon is pretty close now. So don't forget to check back later this week. So the calendar event and Hypnos is coming back later this week. And they pretty much said that and set it in stone by saying that there. So they did say by the end of the month it'd be coming out. So I'm going to imagine like the 31st, 30th is probably when it will be coming out. Tomorrow or the day after maybe. And then also, we heard you'd like to learn more about the new Divine Element. So here's some useful information. As you keep progressing in the community event, we will share more. So why are Divine Dragons so special? First of all, these beauties will be accessible only during the upcoming Divine event. So keep checking for more news if you don't want to miss them. So that is actually quite major. They're saying that these special Divine Dragons like the Hypnos are only available during their specific Divine events. So that makes it sound like they're not going to be like Dragons of the Week or Dragons of the Month, and they're only going to be limited time dragons, which is kind of interesting. And secondly, to level up Divine Dragons, you do not need a Divine Temple. This way you don't have to obtain several Divine Dragons to reach the max level with one of them, although its other elements do need temples. So by that, they're basically saying Divines are going to be extremely hard to get, is what I gather from that, and we won't need temples to level them up. And then, last but not least, the special dragons need a special place to live. And this place is the Divine Habitat. But how many Divine Habitats can you have? What's the gold capacity? We'll find out tomorrow. Well, the second post has come out relating to that, and this is all about this new habitat. And this actually looks amazing. I really like the design of this habitat, like the almost ruby and gold, I think looks super, super good. And again, they do have some more info for us here, so it's amazing how well you've done, congrats on almost hitting 10 mil, blah 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 blah. And then, if we jump down to this section here, it says, what kind of dragons can be placed in Divine Habitats? Simply any kind. From fire to legendary element, every dragon type can live in Divine Habitats, including the Divine Dragons themselves. but divine dragons can be placed only into divine habitat. So I'm assuming that's the same rules as what happens for legendaries. Like, Andy here may have legendary plant and shadow elements, but he can only be placed into a legendary habitat. So we couldn't put Andy into a shadow habitat or a plant habitat. It has to be his own special legendary habitat. So, that's probably just going to be what we've already known. And then, second of all, how many dragons can be placed in a divine habitat? The maximum number is 2. That's a little bit disappointing for me and a few other people, we want more space. We don't want to be limiting it. That's kind of a pet peeve. But anyway, number 3, how much does it cost to build one? It costs 2 million gold. Also, divine habitats have no building time. That's actually kind of interesting. 2 million for no building time. And what is the gold capacity of the divine habitat? We receive lots of complaints about the capacity of legendary habitats. We don't intend to disturb the balance of the game with such an extreme change, but we'd like to comply with your request and provide you with a habitat which can house your beloved legendary dragons and can also store tons of gold. The capacity is 50,000 gold. And that made it sound like it was going to be like quite a big amount, but basic legendary habitats have 30,000, and then if we go over to a void habitat, that houses 75,000. So automatically, these divine habitats are still looking like they're pretty pants. Like 75,000 to 50,000, that's like nothing. Although, I guess because the capacity's only 2 dragons, I guess it makes sense. But some people are just like, these are just like legendary habitats. It doesn't feel like we've really changed anything here. And then, so why not change every legendary habitat to divine? The maximum number of divine habitats is the number of your divine dragons plus 1. This way, players who could unfortunately not get a divine dragon can still try out the comfort of a divine habitat. But as the number of accessible divine dragons is limited, it's not possible to cover every island with divine habitats. And then they're saying, fingers crossed that we can finish the event, get the 15 mil, blah blah blah. But that was really interesting there. The number of divine habitats you can have is the number of divine dragons you have in your game plus 1. So basically, everyone's going to be able to at least have one divine habitat, wherever you want to put it. We'll put it over on our block island, like in the middle if we want to. And then, when we get our our first divine dragon, we'll unlock a second one in the store. And then, if we get a second divine dragon, we'll unlock a third divine habitat. And just keep going on and on like that, basically. So, I mean, that's interesting, but at the same time, like I said, it just feels like the same old, just a kind of upgraded legendary habitat, which is interesting. And then it's like, if this habitat is seemingly better than a legendary habitat, does that mean the dragons are going to be better than legendaries as well? Which is something I've been questioning for quite a while now, because it seems like that's sort of what they're alluding to. Although some screenshots from an unreliable source may have told me differently from that being the case, but for now we will just be left to see what actually happens in game, and we'll see any official info that comes out. Although the Aphrodite dragon was actually listed on the DML wiki, so it definitely seems like the Aphrodite does have complete truth to it for now. I'm gonna say there's like a 90% chance that the Aphrodite is going to be the 10 million unlocked dragon. Like, I'm just throwing that out there. That is definitely what I think is gonna happen, which may not be the case, of course, because I don't work for Gameloft. I don't have any idea what they're actually doing, despite what some people may think and say. So, I don't know what the heck's going on. We'll just have to wait. But again, they keep saying stuff about how these divine dragons are limited time, you can't get a lot of them, they're very special, and all this stuff. So if they're only available during special divine events, that means there's probably going to be more of these sort of community events, or like special weird events coming out in the future, is again my guess is what they mean by that. And, you know, I guess they sort of leave it a little bit ambiguous on purpose and don't give us all the answers because, you know, they want to keep us on our tippy toes as much as possible, which, you know, makes sense. Because the more suspense you leave people in, the more people are like, just tell me already, god damn it! And they just, like, stick around until they finally find out what the heck it was all about. And, you know, that was like with the other images that were seen a bit early. I was like, is this seriously what's happening? And then, you know, I was more so just waiting for confirmation during the community event that they were true. And for the most part, seems like those images were true. But we'll have to wait and see until, like, later today when we hit the 10 mil. But Aphrodite definitely sounds like an interesting dragon, and, you know, something to do with the god of breeding, and people are saying maybe she has something special to do with an interaction with the breeding den. Same with the Hypnos dragon. Maybe these divine dragons have special interactions, because, like I said, apparently, I'm not going to say it's true, apparently the divine dragons aren't all that strong. Whether that's reliable info or not, I don't think it is, but that's what I've seen so far relating to it. But maybe they have some other special thing that they can do in-game, because, like, we have clan dragons, they're like a special kind of dragon that just do clan stuff. Maybe divine dragons will help us with other parts of our game. If their stats are low, I only imagine that maybe they have some other purpose. Unless there's like some god Olympics where all of the divine dragons can only partake in it. That'd be pretty cool. Although, you know, for anyone that didn't have a divine dragon, that'd be a little bit disappointing for them. But overall, you know, we know we're getting a new habitat. We know we're not getting new divine temples, which is good. I'm already tearing my hair out at the thought of having to upgrade so many temples to upgrade our Autumn Dragon already. So I'm glad I don't have to worry about a divine one. But if there's no divine temple, but there are divine habitats, that almost makes it sound like they're boss dragons. And again, boss dragons, you can have them in game, you can put them in habitats, but we haven't had any information confirming that we can actually level up these divine dragons yet. And I just want to point that out just while we're ahead, because they have not actually said that we can level up those dragons yet. In fact, we know pretty much nothing about most of these divine dragons, not Didrine, but we know very little about them. Like, all that we know is that they have a new element, and that they are the godly dragons that the whole of Dragonlandia and its inhabitants sort of look up to, because they are its literal gods. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see. We will wait and see indeed, but I'm intrigued. I'm definitely very intrigued. There are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of things that Gameloft could choose to do with it, or have chosen to do with it. But, you know, if we can get, like, special upgrades, like if the Aphrodite reduces our breeding time, or if the Hypnos Dragon... I was gonna say skip time, but we already have Kronos. I don't know, what could Hypnos do? Maybe it could refresh your dragon's stats by, like, making them instantly fall asleep and then rejuving them, if you get what I mean. So it just sort of gives them an upgrade, or gives you more portal energy or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. It's probably nowhere even close to the truth. But, you know, there's so much that they could have possibly done. So, you know, I'm always happy to hear some of your thoughts, what you think might have happened. And, you know, if you've seen anything in-game or in dragon descriptions that you think may be alluding to something that I've missed or other players have missed, you know, let me know. Because I get messaged many, many times a day with so many different ideas from people, and generally we can sort of start heading in the right direction if we get enough people sort of brainstorming what may be the deal. Not that we're going to be right necessarily, because we were wrong about the Atlantis island completely. Like, we thought that this Greek-themed island may have been the Atlantis island finally, but nah, we got duped. Utterly, completely duped in that regard. But, like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited because we have a new calendar event for definite, and we may finish off this breeding community event, we may not. If we do, we'll have another dragon that we unlock as well, which will be Nito. And again, I just worry about what may happen if we don't get to 15 million. Because what happens to that Aphrodite / whatever dragon it's gonna be? What happens if we don't actually finish off the event? Like, I wouldn't want the dragon to just be stuck in the game's coding forever and we never actually see it. Again, show your paws with, like, the, you know, the leopard, the orca, the turtle, and all that stuff. I've wanted those dragons for so long! But because they never got picked as part of the event, we've just never seen them again, and that was really disappointing. Like, that was such a cool little YouTube event that they decided to bring out with, like, some really popular YouTubers with, like, millions of subs, and, you know, unfortunately we only got one of them, which was Bleg. Big party pooper is basically what it was. Like, everyone saw all these new animal dragons and they're like, oh, they're so cute, I want all of them, and it's like, no, you'll get one. And then that's it. We'll never see it in game ever again. Although I say that, but we haven't had a response that apparently, you know, all of the dragons that have never been available in game before, Gameloft do have plans to release them at some point, but when that point will be is the real question. So for now, we just gotta sit here, wait for everyone to finish hatching all of their community dragons, and just, you know, keep leveling up, never stopping with these one-shotting fights. I'm gonna go insane one day. Because just imagine how much less time we have to waste now that we have our lantern dragon attacking instead of Andy. But it feels so sad being able to one-shot everything. Like, legit, I don't even know anymore. But anyway, I haven't even mentioned this yet, but I was really confused as to why we had a random dinner time event in the middle of the week, with the fluffy dragon being the first prize. Like, why is he here? Why is the frostbite dragon's brother randomly here for some reason? Like, I thought that this was just a random weekend event, and then I was like, wait, it's Monday. Why do we have a weekend event now? No idea, but either way, if you want to participate, the scores are already kind of crazy. 213 million is how much food someone has spent already to get number one. So if you're gonna really go for the fluffy, you're gonna need a ton of food. So just a pre-warning about that. But anyway, guys, I think I have rambled for far too long for now. There's no new news. But like I said, with this new Dragon of the Month, whatever it's gonna be, whether they just don't give us a Dragon of the Month for a couple of days, whether they just bring out the autumn early, or if we get a new limited time special breed, will left to be seen tomorrow. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I will see you then.